Okay, so let's take a quick look at these two cars. Basically, I built the pink car here first, and I usually try to do one or more builds for these proxies to try to get an idea. I'll usually do something kind of wild and out there that's experimental, and then kind of the safe standard in competition slot cars, which is for these cars usually just a sidewinder motor pod and some really basic setup stuff. So today I have been testing this car for weeks, and this car was brand new today. The speed of this car is really close to this one. However, I still think this is the better car at the moment, but we're going to talk about the differences and then what I did today to kind of tune this car in. So let's start off with the pink car. This is a 956. It has a Scale Auto RT3 motor pod retrofitted. This takes quite a bit of work. I had to sand a lot of this away to clear the interior of the 956. And then it also, you'll see the lead here in the front, and then these small chrome strips are actually automotive sound deadening material to try to take some vibration out of the chassis. This is just a 23,000 RPM Slot.it motor, but it turns pretty good RPM. I have more or less stock gearing on it right now. We're only allowed to run 23,000 RPM motors. The rear wheels are NSR 16x8 air wheels, and then these are Thunderslot TYR004 slicks. No insert in there at all. You can kind of see these wear lines in the center. That's really common for unsupported air wheel. Nothing much else going on other than your standard setup. A little bit of tape on the pod here and a cut down slotting plus guide here. The second car is a 962. This is a ball bearing Slot.it 1mm offset sidewinder pod installed here. It has some high quality Coford ball bearings in it. You'll see the lead positioned a bit differently on this car, and with almost none on the pod. This is again a big strip of noise deadening material. The tires on the back of this and wheel combo is an NSR Super Grip with a Slot.it 15.8 by 10 air wheel, and then there's actually a foam insert in the middle of the air wheel that I made out of some old RC car foams. These tires generate a lot of grip. In fact, I put them on the 956, and even at 85 grams, I couldn't keep the car in the slot. So I am concerned about this blister that's happening. I should have mounted the tire the other way, so these may have to get a new set if that doesn't stop propagating before it leaves. And this is a Scale Auto Tech 1 20,000 RPM motor, broken in. It is honestly a phenomenal running motor. It's the quietest running motor on my test bench that I've ever had. I tested this car with that motor, which weighs 22.5 grams, and one of the infamous Scale Auto 20,000 RPM ball bearing blue motors. This one tacked out almost 2,000 RPMs higher, so I dropped down about one pinion tooth to try to equalize the top speed. But the torque and brakes out of this Scale Auto 20,000 RPM Tech 1 is much better. So I actually went back to that motor. I lost about a half a tenth on my track or so running this, even though it is about 20 grams with pinion versus 22 grams with pinion. The last thing I tried on this car after the usual screw tuning and different things was running a lot larger wheel tire combo. This is a 15 by 10 CB Designs wheel with NSR Super Grip. I think it was a 21 by 10 originally, and they're about 20 millimeters tall now. This tire has exceptional grip, but on the limit it tends to cause chatter versus the air wheels for me. So if you're driving underneath the limit of the car, these are probably actually a little safer, a little faster. But if you get into that rhythm and you're starting to slide the car a little more and really trying to push those lap times, I was seeing more chatter out of these tires, and I couldn't really calm it down in any of my usual ways. That said, these wear a lot nicer because they're not on an air wheel, and because they're wider and this car is generating quite a lot of grip. They just seem to deal with that a lot better. So I might continue to try to make these work. Anyway, that's been my process of tuning for today, and kind of an overview of the two cars I have going on for the proxy at the moment. Hopefully you guys learned something by watching this.